Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. I had to just cancel the last scheduled live stream. And so here we are. I had wrongly input my video camera thing. I'm still learning this. So there's 0 of you right now, but I'm sure there will be more soon. And in the meantime, I'm going to just put something in the chat for everyone to think about. Hello. Okay, I'm dropping a question in the chat. So, whoever's watching this, as people come in, please let me know where you're streaming from, where you're watching this from. I just want to know where people are in the world. Hi from Oregon, here on the West Coast. India, oh my gosh, it's late there, girl. Oh my God. I just started, by the way, you'll love this. I just started taking a Carnatic singing class because I've always wanted to learn how to sing Indian music, period, ragas and all of it. So I'm starting to do that now, which is exciting. I have so much respect for what you guys sing. It's crazy. Hey, Colorado, another West Coaster. Love it. Well, welcome, guys. Today is a chill live stream. It's going to be a mix of me going over today's lesson topic, which is how to break down a song the right way. I think the most effective way is really a good way to say that. But then we're going to talk about any questions you have. So if at any point you have a question singing related, just drop it in the chat and I'll answer it when I get to it. And you can send as many questions as you like. And they can be related to the topic we talk about today, or they could be related to something else. So as long as it's singing related or just how to be a better musician in general, let me know. So just drop it in as they come to mind. But anyway, so I'm going to kind of ramble a bit. This idea of today's topic, how to learn a song the most effective way, is something that I think a lot of people want to know, but they don't necessarily. I love rambling too. Thanks. They don't necessarily know how to ask this question. So my job is to basically help people learn how to sing a song and then show them the step-by-step guide to doing it. So I'm going to give you that overview today, but we won't go into great detail. I'm actually in the middle of developing a course that would help you do this in great detail. So it's as if you're having me there, walk you through how to learn a song, and you can apply all these concepts in depth in the course to whatever you're learning in whatever method you want to learn, because there's a lot of different methods. So I'm just going to overview today. So how to learn a song the most effective way would be to first ask yourself, am I learning this by ear? So just listening to a song on the radio and learning it from that, or are you going to learn it from sheet music? So if you know how to read music, I would highly recommend that, just because you get so much more detail out of sheet music versus just listening. I'd say, especially for a beginner, listening and learning by ear is a great way to go, a quick way to start, but you don't pick up nearly as much from hearing it as you do if you've studied actual sheet music and developed your ear that way. So I think they really help each other, because if you know how to read music, you can pull more from learning by ear. And if you know how to learn by ear, you can learn from music very quickly. You can sight read a lot faster. So a little bit of both. So any idea when the course will become available? Hopefully by the end of this year. I would love it in time for the holidays. But realistically, I have a busy life, so I have no idea. I'm still developing this idea right now, and I want to make sure it's thorough. But in the meantime, I have that other course, right? That Sing Smarter Toolkit for those of you who want the basics. Great time to go. So let's dive into how to learn a song by ear, because I think that's mainly what most people are going to be wanting, unless you know how to read music, which I don't expect most of my subscribers or viewers to know how to read music. So learning by ear, the first thing you got to do is know that repetition is important in learning a song, especially by ear, and then also going slow. So hearing it and trying to process and sing it at a slower pace than what is the actual tempo of the song. So those are the two principles you got to keep in mind. So breaking it down, you want to learn things in chunks. You want to learn things without swallowing the whole fish in one go. You want to take a little bite at a time. And that doesn't mean that you learn like one sentence at a time, like it does. But what I mean is you layer it. You learn the melody and the rhythm, and then you learn the lyrics separately, and then you put them all together. So if it's in your native language, typically lyrics are a breeze and you don't have to worry so much about that. But if it's a very wordy song, like rap or even just a pop song that's got a lot of words in it, breaking down the lyrics is going to be key. So I like to learn them separately from the melody and the rhythm. Now, for those of you who don't know how to break down this, let me just kind of define some things for you. So we all know what a melody is, right? It's the tune of the song. But what's rhythm? If you don't know what rhythm is, it's the length of the notes and the pattern in which those notes show up. So is a rhythm versus is another rhythm. Very much like Morse code, where you have like short and long dots and lines. Notes can be short or long as well in various lengths. And if you know how to read music, you'll know exactly how long everything is or how short everything is. But learning by ear, being aware that rhythm is still very important to learn. So listening for the rhythm and listening for the tune. Oftentimes when you learn a song by ear, you are learning both of those at the same time. If you were learning it with just sheet music, you would learn those separately. Again, I'm not going to go into details on how to learn with sheet music today. I'm just talking about by ear. So if you have any questions so far, if I've lost you at all, please drop it in the chat. Or if you have other questions that come to mind, drop them in the chat too. That said, I want to know that with moving on to the next phase of learning a song, I'm feeling really comfortable with what I've just learned. So make sure that if you're learning the melody and the rhythm at the same time by humming it typically, or la 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 la-ing it, I want to feel really solid on that before I add the lyrics in. So if you're trying to do everything at once and sing the lyrics and the rhythm and the melody all at once, the first go around, before you feel comfortable with just the melody and the rhythm, you're going to have a hard time. That's just everyone's experience of that. You end up tripping over your tongue. You end up getting frustrated. You might place it in a difficult spot in your body and you start straining. So we want to avoid all that, right? We want to go for the classic slow, like the tortoise and the hare. Slow is better. So that said, we want to learn the melody and rhythm until we feel comfortable. Then we add the lyrics separately. Lyrics can be spoken in rhythm, nice and slow. I'm trying to think of a song off the top of my head. So I don't know. Amazing Grace is such a classic American folk song. So we're going to go, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. That's how you would practice lyrics. So doing that on your own, separate from the rest, for the music and for the melody rather, is going to be a great way to create a foundation for your singing. And then as soon as you feel comfortable with the lyrics at that pace, add them to the melody and the rhythm. Easy peasy, put it all together. At that point, you want to still go slow and start going section by section, slowly piecing the sections together that you've worked on. So it's like you're sewing a patchwork quilt, sort of. And this is just for any song, any genre. This is how I would learn that song. It's the most effective way of doing it. I'd say it's just helps us keep our brains from overheating, you know what I mean? So that's it. That is the whole explanation of how to, at least by ear, learn a song from start to finish effectively. Now, granted, there's so many methods on how to learn a melody, how to learn rhythm, how to learn lyrics, how to put it all together effectively. But I'm not going to go in depth on that. Again, for those of you new to the stream, just watching, there's a course that I'm developing that I hope to release by the end of the year on this topic. So that said, let's answer some questions. There's already a few questions here. Please add more as they come in. Peter asks, what is the significance of the hyoid bone? Okay, that's interesting. So you can't see mine because I'm a girl, but the Adam's apple on men is called the hyoid bone. It is women have it too. It's just not as pronounced. It is at the front here. Fun self-defense trick. If you just karate chop someone right there, you could really do some damage. So the hyoid bone is the only bone in the larynx. Everything else is like a ligament or a tendon or a piece of tissue that's just flapping in the wind, or muscles. So it's a very flexible area. The hyoid bone offers structure. And I think it also, I mean, I'm not an anatomist, so I couldn't tell you like the true significance, but just from my own knowledge from singing, it's a way to protect your voice. Quite literally, it's a supportive piece of structure to help protect your larynx and vocal folds from any outside injury. That said, that's your hyoid bone. We have some more people who just added to the chat. I want to know where you guys are watching the live stream from. Let me know where you are. We have someone from India. We have someone from Colorado. We have my lovely partner who's here in the other room joining us on this stream. I want to know where you're from. And also, if you have questions, please subscribe if you haven't already, and then you can drop into the chat your questions about singing. For those who just joined, we just talked about all of the ways that you can learn a song from start to finish. I would love to know if you have any other questions related to singing. As I'm waiting for those questions to roll in, I just wanted to share as well that in the next few weeks, the plan is to drop some videos, not so technique focused like I've been doing, but to also add videos on like just a peek into what a practice session looks like for me. How do I practice? How to effectively practice. I have my students who, I don't know if any of them are watching right now, but some of my private students are joining me in a master class in a couple weeks, and they've agreed to let me film them and put at least little clips of it on YouTube. So watching other people learn live in a lesson is something that I'm going to be posting here pretty soon. And then other things like, my own lived experience, some of my own singing trials and errors, story times, things like that. So I'm trying some different things here. But if you have other video ideas as well, please drop them in the chat. I would love to add them to my robust list of things I need to film. So another one from Peter, thank you. When Olivia belts, are you talking about, I'm assuming Olivia Rodrigo. When Olivia belts, does her larynx squeeze or rise in a way that adds throat tension? Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, Peter, I don't watch enough Olivia Rodrigo videos to know. And I don't follow her enough to be like, is she squeezing? But considering her success and the way that she tours around the world, I'm assuming she's got a vocal coach and she's doing a good job of singing. So assuming she has healthy technique. So when people talk about the larynx squeezing or rising, just for those of you who may not know, we are talking about tension in the throat, period. That's usually what that means. We are alluding to the fact that if someone's squeezing their throat or tightening or rising the larynx, it's due to tension in the throat and this like need to pull on it, using these muscles to overcompensate for the muscles in our core. So when she does that, I mean, if she's doing it with if she's belting with healthy technique, there should be no tension, unhealthy tension here. Our bodies, side note, our bodies are literally what would be called a biotensegrity. If you don't know, I'm going to just type that into the chat. Biotensegrity. If you don't know what a tensegrity is like if you've ever seen those videos or not videos, wow, those like, if you've gone to a doctor's office and or a mathematician has a tensegrity on their desk, it's like this little structure made of like wooden rods and rubber bands that hold everything together but the rods are not touching each other. So it's a structure built upon the principles of push and pull. So things are pushing and pulling. We are a biotensegrity. Our bodies operate based on pushing and pulling. And so there are healthy amounts of tension that occur when we sing. So when we're trying to avoid tension, what we're talking about is bad tension. So like the larynx squeezing and the rising of the larynx, or just any sort of pain here, we're trying to avoid it. So that said, when she's belting, if she's belting in a healthy way, or if anyone is belting or mixing their voice in a healthy way, what should be happening is this is staying relaxed. And rather than using this to belt and try to reach the notes, we think of mixing and belting as moving laterally, that the higher we go, we're actually not moving much at all. The notes don't really change position in our bodies as much as we think they would. Instead, we're engaging more in the core, where these muscles in our core can actually handle the stress and the tension, the natural healthy tension of our tensegrity as we sing, rather than these muscles. So that's kind of a long explanation to answer your question. I have no idea if I just answered that for you correctly or not. I don't know for Olivia Rodrigo specifically what she does or doesn't do, because I don't watch enough of her performance videos. That said, any other questions at all? Any at all, drop them in the chat about singing. You do need to subscribe in order to drop it in the chat, as that's the priority, is those who follow along. And if you're watching this and you don't know about my channel at all, I post how-to singing videos every Friday. And I have another one coming out next week. Stay tuned for that, on more in depth on the topic we discussed today. So can you explain a little bit about the throat chakra? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to just preface my explanation by saying I am not someone who is super well versed in chakras. I know I'm familiar with chakras through my own yoga practice and spiritual practice, and from my friends who do Reiki and other like somatic practices and healing. But the throat chakra, the chakra system is like, I believe it's 7 chakras going from the pelvic floor all the way up through the crown of the head, right? And so the throat chakra, each chakra actually correlates with a gland in the body. And so a gland or a significant organ of the body. So you have the heart chakra, for example. You have the throat chakra. So you have the throat here, right? I think the third eye is your pituitary gland in your brain. So each chakra is actually associated with your body, different body parts. The throat chakra is, as they say, associated with communication and with speaking your truth. And as a voice teacher, I get a lot of students who come in here and wanting lessons, and they're struggling to express themselves, or they struggle to voice what they need or voice their own truth in their day-to-day life. And voice lessons paired with therapy, paired with yoga, paired with whatever they're using to kind of work through their own issues or baggage, voice lessons helps them access their throat, which is amazing. I think it's such an incredible use of that ideology, that belief, that I don't know, I'd say it's fact, honestly, if it's associated with real parts of our body and the energy shifting between them. It's amazing. That's what I know about the throat chakra. I don't know much else. I know it's associated with the color blue. That too. And I know for me, if I don't speak my truth, if I feel really upset and I don't know how to express myself, my throat will close. Like, it'll feel so tense. And it's like a very knee-jerk reaction. I don't even realize I'm doing it or I need it to speak until it hurts. So it can be involuntary. How are you a teacher? I studied classical singing for over 10 years before I decided to start teaching. So I've been doing teaching for over 4 years now. Wow, we're going on year 5 pretty soon. And I have studied with many teachers in many different genres, and I continue to study. As I said earlier in this video, I just started taking a class on Carnatic singing, which is like Indian music, like ragas and all that stuff. And so I continue my education in different ways. And I am continuing to learn about different methods, different techniques. And as a teacher, my job is to help other students learn technique, but also learn how to express themselves with their voice. Um, oh, hi from Brazil. Wow. That's so cool. Hadassah, thank you so much for tuning in. How to train higher and lower notes. Okay, those are two very different things. Higher and lower notes. Oh, wait, is that one of my students? Who's one of my students? Okay, if you're one of my students, say hi. Anyway, higher and lower notes. Those are very different things. I'm so curious if you have like can you give me more specific question? What do you mean train higher and lower notes? Like to strengthen them, to make them sound more powerful, to sing softly, to like expand your range? I need information. While you get specific with your question, okay, I'm going to answer the next one. Have you ever choked on stage? That's a good question. I've totally choked on stage. Not like choked, like I absolutely bombed. I totally sucked. Yeah, many times. I've totally sucked on stage. The first time I sang in front of an audience ever, I was in like a teen musical theater camp or whatever for the summer. It was like, a month long or something. And then it culminated with a performance. And I was singing You Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. From Toy Story. And my legs were like purple because the blood was going so fast. I was so nervous. And I sang it. I managed to sing it just fine. I was so scared. And then fast forward to, no, that was probably middle school actually. And then high school, my first vocal recital, I was singing classical music for the first time. I was terrified. And it was not only was my first vocal recital that I've ever sung in, ever, singing classical music for the first time ever. But it was also took place in the lobby of a hospital. Like they had a really nice lobby with a piano and a sitting area. And that's where the recital is held. I don't know why, for what reason, but that's where it was. And so there were people just walking through the whole time who weren't even a part of the studio or a parent or anything. So it was like total strangers. And I completely forgot the lyrics for one of the verses. I was just like, it was Sento nel cuore, if you know that song. So I was like, la, 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 la. It was terrifying. I was scared. One of the videos I want to publish in the future is how to get through stage fright, what to do when you have stage fright, and what to do if you're like totally sucking on stage. Like, what do you do? So that is on my to film list as well. Oh, you're from the UK. Welcome from the UK. I tried to pick an earlier time this morning to do a live stream so that way more people from Europe can tune in as well. So I'm glad that you're tuning in. Also, you're a vocal coach too, Dominique. It's so nice to meet you. If you want to connect, hit me up. My email's in my thingy. Okay, Hadassah, how do I expand range? That's a great question. Okay, thanks for getting specific. That helps me. So expanding the range is dependent on a few things. The first thing, the core thing would be you have to rely on your breath more than anything else. This has to stay relaxed. You cannot be squeezing. You cannot be trying to force things with your throat. You have to stay relaxed here and nice and low and engaged in the core with the breath. It also takes technically less air to sing high, but more energized air. So your air has to be spinning. You might have heard, you might hear someone describe it as like spinning your air, meaning like I imagine it like I'm creating like a tornado of air coming out of me the higher I sing. My air has to be very energized. So I would suggest some range extension exercises. I have range extension exercises in depth in that course, the Sing Smarter Toolkit that I have. It's in the description. It should be in the description. So you can click that there. And right now it's at the lowest price it's ever going to be. I'm thinking of upping the price pretty soon, considering I'm getting some good feedback from it and changing some stuff. So if you want in on that and you want some specific range extension help, that course will help you. Oh, also from the UK, hello. How do you wiggle your larynx by speaking? You just grab it and you speak and you wiggle. You can try it too. It's weird. It's very, very weird. I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time. I just do it to demonstrate that it's flexible. Okay, guys, this has been such a fun live stream. I'm so pleased how so many of you have shown up. So maybe I do this at 9:30 a.m. Pacific from now on Fridays. I don't know. If you prefer a different day and time than Friday, let me know. Maybe I'll do this on a weekend, but I want to make sure that more people have access to the live stream and can ask their questions. So I'm planning on wrapping this up in a few minutes. So if you have any last minute questions or anything else that you want to share, please drop it in the chat. And also, side note, I really just tell people, sure, like through the community section of YouTube when these live streams are happening, but I mainly tell people these live streams are happening through my email newsletter. So down below, there's a link for like a free vocal care guide or whatever that you just send your email and I send that care guide to your email. It also automatically puts you on that email list. So that way you can get notified when this live stream happens. So if you want to know when the next one happens next month, which I have yet to decide a date yet, you can drop that down below. And then also you can say hello on my website. If you're interested in taking lessons, I have some availability starting later this year or the beginning of next year. So if you want to get ready for next year, if you want to sing in 2026 with me, I would recommend filling out the inquiry form for voice lessons down below. Any other questions at all about singing? I want to just open up the floor. But Hadassah, I have one more thing. How to train your lower notes. I will give you a tip because I don't know if there's something specific for you. And also, you're welcome for answering that question earlier. So, the low notes. Oftentimes, something I want you to get familiar with is feeling the. Oh, thank you so much. I will answer some of these in a second. I want you to be aware of feeling the notes resonating the back of your face or back of your head and the front of your face, the front of your head. So when you are singing low, like, la, this is quite low for me. I'm not going, la, that's me trying to sing from the back. This is all right here. This doesn't sound very good and it doesn't feel very good either. At all. Try to avoid that. See if you can keep things forward. So you're resonating not just in your chest, but also your front teeth. La, 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 la. It's almost like you're taking a bite of something. You might feel sensation there. So that's a way to train your low notes. I am a software engineer too. I'd love to connect with you or collaborate with you. I would love that. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Harsha. You can email me. My email is in my YouTube about section on my channel. So if you want to email me, I would love to go shake my camera, connect with you about that kind of stuff. I would love to know what you offer. What do you suggest for someone who doesn't think they can sing? I've watched plenty of videos for exercises to get better, but not sure how that helps if I don't know how to sing to begin with. Okay, great question. So if you don't think you can sing, my first question for you is, do you have the self-awareness, like that if you were singing along with a song or singing along to notes on the piano, are you able to identify if you are off or not? It's okay if you don't know if you're above or below the note, but can you tell if you are on the note or off the note? If you're unable to tell that, I would really suggest getting help from a teacher, because I'm not that teacher. I'm going to just say that. I need that baseline for students. But there's some teachers out there who really can help you find that baseline where, like, oh yeah, I can identify whatever they can help you build that self-awareness of if you can sing in tune or not. And then once you have that self-awareness, that is the skill you need to be able to cultivate with singing. So you can detect pitch, you just don't think it sounds very good. That's fine. That means that you can be helped. So it's a skill. Learning how to sing in tune is a skill that develops over time, right? So I want you to, first of all, look up videos on and like incorporating good breathing techniques, like learning how to practice good breathing and engaging your core. I have a couple of videos on how to engage while singing, because that's like more important than anything else, is making sure your breath is really solid. And then two, learning how to open and manage the jaw and the mouth. So like making sure your vowels are manageable and refined and all that stuff. That said, I want you to, I would highly suggest getting a teacher. Like, it's so worth the investment in your voice. Of course, I'm a little biased as a teacher. You can either take it from me. I have 3-month and 6-month programs, so they're very like low commitment for the long term. It's not like you have to sign on a year of your life, but you'll learn a lot of the basics. But get a teacher in your area if you want in-person lessons, you know? So make sure that you have someone who can actually guide you, because the next level would be applying what you're learning to a song. The thing is practicing technique and applying it in practice or in context is going to be the thing that develops your voice. So you might not like how you sound now, but you will eventually, the more you practice. Watching videos is one thing, but singing is the only, like, one of the few things that I've ever done that you can't watch videos and not practice in order to learn. Like, you can't just watch a video and be like, oh, I'm a good singer now. You have to practice. You have to learn how to apply it in context, and a teacher can help you with that. So I hope that helps you answer the question. I mean, not quite sure how to explain this, but how do you make raising the soft palate become an easy or intuitive thing? At the moment, it takes a lot of effort. Great question. Okay. Also, hi everyone. If Aditya, let me know where you guys are watching from. I want to know. There's some new people. Okay. So about raising the soft palate. Okay. For those of you who don't know, the hard palate is the roof of the mouth. The soft palate is the roof of the mouth in the back, right? In the pharynx, in the back of the throat, the back of the mouth. The soft palate is the thing that the uvula, that little punching bag in the back of your mouth, is attached to. When you yawn, the beginning of a yawn lifts the soft palate. So you might hear crinkling in your ears. You might feel that lift, that space opening up. That's lifting the soft palate. So to answer your question, making the soft palate become easy or intuitive comes from first consciously making an effort to raise it, just starting a yawn, but then just maintaining it. And then just singing with this, you know? And eventually it becomes second nature. The more you consciously think about it, over time it becomes more and more intuitive. I will say, though, it's not the biggest lift in the world. You don't have to lift your soft palate and jack it up. It's like, we're talking millimeters of difference here. Okay. Well, hello. Thank you. I'm starting to learn music now and struggle a lot with breathing and placing the voice. I know how difficult it is, especially if you're trying to do this on your own. As a voice teacher, I always recommend, please go get voice lessons, whether it's from me or someone else. But if you can't and you want guidance, please check out that course I made. I made that course for people who can't afford lessons or can't find a teacher in their area, or who just want a good practice regimen and warm-up routine that will help them develop technique and then teach them how to apply that technique. Please check that out. I made it for you, you know? Yep, sure. I'll email you. Great. I love the way you're growing. Continue the good work. Thank you so much. Thank you. From India as well. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you being here today. I know there's 9 on here currently. I am going to wrap this up. If you have anything else you want to ask at all, speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh, okay, here we go. Can I sing notes lower than my range? My voice is kind of high-pitched as a male, and sometimes it's quite embarrassing talking in public with a high-pitched voice. Okay. I want you to know that you have a superpower if you are a man and you can speak high, because you might very well be a tenor or a countertenor. which a countertenor can sing in the female range, which and has a phenomenal falsetto. So you might have that superpower, but you won't know unless you find out. But two, not really. To answer your question, to sing notes lower than your range, you can't really expand your range lower. The reason being is we speak typically in the lowest part of our range, so we're already accessing that low range pretty regularly. So singing down there is quite comfortable for most people. You might be able to strengthen those lower notes, but singing high or speaking higher in your range or singing higher in your range is typically the part that's difficult for most people to expand into. So I don't know of anyone, myself or my students or anyone else I know, who has been able to like expand their lower range. If anything, it's been to strengthen what they already have, or to more easily access the lower notes in their range. But to expand it is quite unusual. I don't know of anyone who has. So unfortunately, no. But there is something to be said about speaking or singing more high in the male range. And I want you to know that the way you perceive your voice is different than how everyone else perceives your voice. You're the only one who hears it internally, as well as like the sound traveling up the side of your face, as well as the reverb. So you're hearing your voice in a multitude of different ways than everyone else who's hearing your voice. So if you don't like your voice, which is so common, most people have, I mean, I hated my voice for a very, very long time, if I'm being quite honest, when I started out. But then I like to think of it as exposure therapy. The more you hear your voice in recordings or voice memos from voice lessons, or the more you just sing and you just get used to it and speaking, the more you get used to it and it becomes your superpower. Everyone's voice is unique to them, and I think it's to be celebrated. So I urge you, if you can't sing lower than your range, which is pretty uncommon, just accept your voice, radically accept your voice as is, and admire your strengths because they're unique to you and no one else has your voice. So as someone who's been made fun of for my speaking voice as a kid, that was super traumatizing. To be told that I have an annoying voice and I need to stop talking because I'm making their ears bleed. Yeah, I got over it though, and I've made it my livelihood. So I encourage you to keep going and to radically accept yourself. All right, my lovely, lovely, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning into this live stream. I am going to close out now. Oh, you got bullied. Solidarity, brother. I know. Getting bullied for your voice sucks. On a side note, I have a student right now. I have a couple students right now who were bullied for their voice as well. And we're told that they couldn't sing. I have a student who was told they couldn't sing at all. And now she's singing full-on opera arias beautifully. So if I could do a middle finger right now to those people, I would. So as you can check out my video on nasality too, if that helps. All right, my friends, thank you so much. I'm going to close out this live stream. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Click the link down below for that course I was talking about if you are looking to enter the world of voice lessons, but you don't know where to start. That course is a great place to start, and it's quite affordable. This is the lowest price it'll ever be. And also, I have that free vocal care guide where you can get added to the email list. That's where I notify you of these live streams. I haven't picked a date or a time for next month yet, so please let me know down below. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you next Friday for another video, okay? Bye.